Tonight, a Queensland police officer suffers a blood clot. Was it from his surgery or the Pfizer COVID jab? The investigation to get urgent answers.
The death that sparked a global movement. Now a police officer found guilty of the murder of George Floyd.
Local activists make their mark on Brisbane statues.
The grieving husband's quest for answers after his wife died waiting for ambulances that couldn't find their home.
Qantas celebrates its centenary in Longreach and unveils the newest attraction to its museum.
And the medical breakthrough that will treat painful arthritis.
This is 9 News Queensland.
Good evening. A major medical investigation is underway tonight over whether a local man suffered blood clots as a result of getting the Pfizer vaccine.
It comes as the state government confirms plans to set up mass vaccination centres here in Queensland.
COVID vaccine concern building in our backyard. A frontline health worker hospitalised with blood clots days after getting his Pfizer jab. The 40-year-old police officer patrols quarantine hotels and was vaccinated as part of the rollout. We understand the man who was treated here at St Andrew's Hospital has also undergone recent knee surgery. Federal authorities now investigating whether the clot is linked to the vaccine or the surgery.
Our medical authorities are determined to investigate any such incident and provide that information and data nationally and indeed internationally.
A scare in Brisbane as Victoria launches Operation Mass Vaccination. 3 new sites opening up to speed up the delayed rollout. In a show of support, their chief health officer was one of the first to roll up his sleeves for his AstraZeneca jab, a move Queensland is planning to make.
We are preparing for that now, so the logistics of that are in place now. We're working on that now, but we are some time from needing that.
But can't until a large enough supply of the vaccine can be guaranteed. The Deputy Premier couldn't confirm where our mass vaccination sites could be, but says for now our hospitals are doing the job.
Currently our hospitals are able to do the number of vaccines that we have available, the number of vaccinations that we need to do within their existing facilities.
As we go to air, the National Vaccines Operations Centre and the Therapeutic Goods Association are investigating this local case to determine whether or not the man's clots are linked to his vaccination or to his surgery, which we are told is likely. The results will be crucial either to restore confidence in the Pfizer vaccine, which is currently the recommended jab for Australians under 50, or alternatively to address safety concerns if a connection between the jab and his clots is confirmed. Andrew.
Thanks, Sophie. A Gold Coast community is tonight demanding answers after a mother was found dead in her backyard, allegedly murdered at the hands of her ex-partner. Lily Greer joins us live from the scene. Lily, are investigators any closer to piecing together how this all unfolded?
Well, Andrew, they actually packed up not too long ago. They've spent all day here trying to find potential evidence as the community comes to terms with the death of Kelly Wilkinson. She was found dead in her backyard yesterday morning, badly burnt. Today, messages of support for her family are dominating social media. Tributes for her are flowing online too. She's being described as a vibrant and loving young mother.
I don't even know this lady. I'm just a member of this community. I heard the sirens on that morning and I would never have dreamed that this would happen.
One of my boys said, "Oh, Mum, they're 9, I've got 9-year-old twin boys. What happens if Daddy does that to you?" And I said, "Oh, that's not ever going to happen." I mean, what else can you say?
Kelly's ex-partner Brian Earl Johnston has been charged with her murder as well as breach of bail. The 34-year-old wasn't in Magistrates Court today as his charges were presented. He remains at the Royal Brisbane Hospital. The court today hearing that the full extent of Kelly's injuries won't be known until a forensic pathologist's report is complete, which could take up to 9 months. For now, though, you don't have to look too far to see just how much Kelly Wilkinson's death has impacted the community here. An online fundraising initiative has raised more than $90,000, and that's intended to go towards funeral costs and helping her children. Andrew, it looks as though that amount is growing by the minute.
That support is clear, isn't it, Lily? Thank you. And if you or someone you know needs help, you can call DV Connect on 1800 811 811.
There's relief across America tonight. Former police officer Derek Chauvin found guilty of the murder and manslaughter of George Floyd. His brutal death ignited a wave of protests around the world. But today, the streets were filled with tears, hugs and dancing.
Outside the Minneapolis courthouse and on the street where George Floyd begged for his life, they gathered, a nation holding its breath.
As to count one, unintentional second-degree murder while committing a felony, find the defendant guilty.
Guilty!
Relief turned to jubilation and celebration. The jury took just over 10 hours to reach a unanimous decision.
All rise for the jury.
Former officer Derek Chauvin found guilty of second-degree manslaughter, second-degree murder and third-degree murder.
Bail is revoked, bond is discharged, and the defendant is remanded to the custody of the Hennepin County Sheriff.
George Floyd's extended family watching on from Houston. And inside the courthouse, his brother and legal team were overcome with emotion. A bittersweet day for those who never gave up on justice.
Say his name! Say his name! Today, we are able to breathe again.
The verdict prompting a phone call from the president.
But at least, God, now there's some justice. We're all so relieved. Not just one verdict, but all three. Truly on all three counts. And we're going to get a lot more done. We're going to get police. We're going to do a lot. Nothing can ever bring their brother, their father back. But this can be a giant step forward in the march toward justice in America.
Promising police reform in the name of George Floyd, whose death in May last year sparked a nationwide reckoning, protests not seen since the civil rights movement. Minneapolis was ground zero, furious protesters swarming the police precinct, businesses looted, buildings burned to the ground.
Let this be the precedence where we overcome systematic racism and oppression.
Today's verdict bringing vindication for a family.
Well, we can now tell George's daughter she was right. Her father has begun the changing of the world for real.
A movement.
This is a win for democracy. This is a win for our country. This is a win for us to come together and unite.
And a nation.
We've been fighting so much pain and struggle in our city, and now it's time for us to heal.
I can't believe it. It feels there's poetry in the fact that he couldn't breathe, and it feels like we just got a breath of fresh air. Like for the first time, it feels like we can breathe.
As the news spread, the city came to a standstill, united at last in triumph rather than rage.
Thousands have come out to celebrate not only justice for George Floyd, but potentially a turning point for a country that has been so divided.
From Minneapolis to Washington, D.C., the festivities caught on. In Atlanta, the next generation rejoiced.
We made a change today. It's history.
While in LA, they marked the moment in silence. But for Black Lives Matter protesters in New York, the verdict didn't go far enough. And from the country's first black president, cautious optimism. Barack Obama reminding Americans that true justice is about much more than a single verdict in a single trial. True justice requires that we come to terms with the fact black Americans are treated very differently every day. We cannot rest.
It is accountability, which is the first step towards justice. And now the cause of justice is in your hands.
A case with no winners and by no means the end of America's fight against police brutality and racism.
And Alison Petrovsky is in Minneapolis tonight. Alison, how long does Derek Chauvin face behind bars?
Good evening to you, Andrew. Potentially 40 years behind bars. That sentencing is going to take place 8 weeks from now, but there is a real chance that Derek Chauvin's legal team will try and appeal. Throughout the case, they were hinting at it, suggesting that the media coverage was tainting the jury's view. So still some legal hurdles to clear, but a really important first step today. Back to you, Melissa.
Alison, thank you. The impact of the case and the verdict has been felt across the globe, including here in Brisbane. Let's go straight to Ebony Cavallaro at Fortitude Valley, where Ebony statues have been vandalised.
That's right, Melissa. We're in Centenary Park, and here behind me is Queensland's oldest statue. It's of Premier Thomas Burns, and on one side we've got the letters BLM, or Black Lives Matter. On the other side we've got the words genocide occurred here. Now the same words and graffiti is also on the second statue, which also features here in this park. That is of Scottish poet Robert Burns as well. The graffiti was first noticed in the hours after that historic verdict was delivered in the United States. So far it is yet to be cleaned up. Melissa, these are historic statues. We understand that they are maintained by the state government, and we wait to see when they might be fixed.
Ebony, thank you. A man who once helped the notorious postcard bandit Brendan Abbott escape from jail has faced Brisbane Magistrates Court on a trespassing charge. Brendan Bereshon had initially pleaded guilty over the alleged incident at a Castledine house in 2019, but plans to withdraw his plea in a hearing next month. A charge of enter premises with intent was dismissed after prosecutors offered no evidence. A woman jailed for 9 years for stabbing her partner to death on Macleay Island in 2018 could walk from prison as early as tomorrow, months earlier than expected. Renee Blocky was set to be eligible for parole after 3 years and 9 months, but she has successfully appealed her sentence. The court ruling she should be allowed out after serving just 3 years. The Court of Appeal says Blocky has shown sincere and obvious remorse and significant steps towards rehabilitation.
Straight to Sally Geit now at Brisbane's District Court. Sally, the fate of reality TV figure Susie Taylor is now in the hands of a jury.
Yes, the jury has now retired to deliberate. Their job, decide whether former Block stars Susie Taylor and Ali Ibrahimi are guilty or not guilty of extortion, deprivation of liberty, assault, attempted fraud and fraud. The pair have pled not guilty, but they're accused of holding a man, David Butler, against his will, tying him up and bashing him after he refused to hand over money Susie was demanding for her escort services. So, Melissa, the waiting game is well and truly underway, with this jury sent home and sent to come back tomorrow morning to continue their deliberations.
We'll have to wait to see. Thank you. A senior Queensland police officer was today grilled at a coronial inquest over his actions on the day Rick Madison gunned down his colleague Brett Fort. The senior sergeant was also accused of bullying and lying to Fort's widow and police partner.
The accusations came thick and fast for Senior Sergeant Scott Stullett. He was the officer in charge the day Rick Madison lured, ambushed and shot dead Brett Fort on a dirt road outside Toowoomba in May of 2017. Stullett made the call to pursue Madison, who was top of the region's wanted list, to an area where there'd been reports of automatic gunfire. But that information wasn't relayed to the officers giving chase. Lawyers representing Susan Fort, that's Brett's widow, unleashed.
Was there any failing on your part that contributed to Brett Fort's death?
Under the circumstances, no.
Why didn't you get on the police radio and say something along the lines of, "Be careful, there's been automatic gunfire reports from this area"?
I did not know where Waller's Road was in respect to where the pursuit was.
During the 2-hour cross-examination, Stullett was also accused of lying, bullying and intimidating Brett Fort's partner, Senior Sergeant Catherine Nielsen, after the shooting because she was asking too many questions.
Senior Sergeant Stullett denied every accusation levelled against him. He defended his actions and he defended the actions of his officers on that fateful day.
Alex Heinke, 9 News.
The Prime Minister will hold talks with alleged rape victim Brittany Higgins next week. Ms Higgins wrote to Scott Morrison's Chief of Staff outlining her priorities, including setting up an independent complaints body for staff. The Prime Minister says he's looking forward to the meeting, describing it as important. Yvette Darth admits the health system's under pressure, weighed down by factors from COVID-19 to fewer doctors' bulk billing. The Health Minister also came under further LNP criticism over long queues at emergency rooms.
3 a.m. on a weekday at Ipswich Hospital, and ambulances are lined up waiting for patients to be seen. The same day, the LNP says, a teenage girl with breathing difficulties left after 9 hours without seeing a doctor.
Is Labor losing control of Queensland Health yet again? How many lives will be lost because this government is losing control of Queensland Health?
The health system is facing unprecedented demand. We do not pretend
that the demand pressures are not there.
A combination, the Minister says, of COVID-19, more than 1 million patients going to emergency departments in 6 months, many unable to afford GPs who don't bulk bill, and of 600 beds being taken up by the disabled and elderly waiting for places in care.
What we are seeing in Queensland is above normal surge numbers.
The opposition says 40% of patients taken by ambulance are ramped, forced to wait more than half an hour to be seen, much higher than New South Wales and Victoria.
Is Labor losing control of ramping?
The multi-pronged attack sparked a bitter response as the government wound the clock back to Campbell Newman when 4,000 health jobs were slashed.
This side of the House will not be lectured by those opposite who decimated the health system in this state. How dare they come in here and talk about health in this state?
But the LNP won't back away, promising more to come, believing health is a major public issue and that the government's vulnerable. Lane Calcutt, 9 News.
Later in the news, our exclusive with the man whose wife died after 3 ambulances got lost looking for his address. The boss of Tesla has hit back after a fatal crash involving one of his vehicles. 2 people died when theirs crashed into a tree in Texas. Both were in passenger seats. Their friends insist they were testing the car's self-drive feature. But Elon Musk says data logs show the car was not on autopilot and didn't have full self-driving software anyway.
To breaking news and the exploding COVID outbreak in India and potential implications here. Jonathan Kersley has more from Canberra.
Health authorities in Australia have seen a surge in cases in hotel quarantine of people who have travelled in from the subcontinent. In India alone in the last 24 hours, there's been in excess of 250,000 cases and 1,700 deaths. The country's top doctors will be providing National Cabinet tomorrow with urgent advice on what to do about incoming flights from India. Then, National Cabinet, the Prime Minister, the Premiers and the Chief Ministers of the territories will decide whether to leave incoming flights as they are or potentially suspend them for stranded Australians wanting to come home.
The community cost of grand Olympic plans. Will the major Gabba revamp put heritage-listed buildings at risk?
Sorry for being a big burden, the bizarre apology note left by costume thieves.
Putting an end to chronic pain, the new revolutionary treatments.
And at the end of sport, meet Tori, Kmart's new staff member you'll notice cruising around the aisles.
Stephen's wife died in his arms, waiting to be saved.
And I can't get that vision out of my head.
He's called 000 3 times.
I was trying to keep her alive.
But says all 3 ambulances got lost.
And the hospital's only 5 minutes away.
Why does it keep happening? Don't miss it.
A magical frozen adventure comes.
Let it snow.
To Lego Live.
Each team will be given their own snow globe. It's storytelling perfected.
Who will take imagination?
I think this is going to be one of the best things that we've ever built.
It really is beautiful Lego.
Into the unknown.
We've got some real good builds out here. It's making me happy.
And who will be the first?
No pressure!
To let it go.
I do have to send one team home.
And say goodbye. Lego Masters, tonight, 7:30 on 9.
I've worked with my father as a business partner since I was 18 years old. He's my best friend and he's known as Mr. Nick. We use Foodland IJ to create something special in the community. Sure, we sell groceries. We're pretty good at that. But as community leaders, what else can we do? So Youth Think is a foundation that really wants to support young adults through creating a place where young people can come there and be exposed to positive opportunities in life.
I think they just care about their community and I'm just very grateful for that.
That is good for the heart. That's what is important in life.
"38 diverted planes, 7,000 stranded passengers, and one small town that welcomed them all." That's the Broadway hit Come From Away. Best musical winner around the world. Now playing. Book at comefromaway.com.au.
Experience a wonder out yonder in WA.
Want acres of wilderness to explore? Save up to $150 when you spend 3 nights in the East Kimberley from just $429. Book now with free date changes.
We've turned Mondays into something to make a song and dance about. With Meerkat Mondays! Now you can win prizes every week with Compare the Market. So please download the Symbols app.
Discover a new level of luxury at the King Living sale. Save up to 50% on the best in Australian furniture design. Why buy ordinary furniture when you can come home to King? Sale ends soon.
9 News, brought to you by the King Living sale. Ends soon.
One of Brisbane's oldest schools could become a casualty of the planned $1 billion Gabba revamp. East Brisbane State School neighbours the stadium, but the Premier is adamant it'll remain untouched.
For 122 years, East Brisbane State School has stood proudly on Wellington Road. The bell first ringing in 1899, but now this pre-Federation institution faces uncertainty thanks to its more famous neighbour.
We've had parents getting in touch with us saying they're really concerned about the future viability of the school.
The government gave the green light to a $1 billion Gabba facelift just yesterday. Despite the Premier assuring the public the school would be protected, South Brisbane's local member isn't so sure.
Some of the visualisations that we saw in the news reports yesterday show a complete transformation of the school, and yet the school has very little information about what the plans are.
The government is now faced with two schools of thought: leave the campus where it is and build around it, or relocate it altogether.
Oh, that would be really sad because the school is really good.
Oh yeah, no, I will not like the school to move from here.
Oh well, I would hate that. My daughter's been going there for like 2 years.
In 1994, East Brisbane State School was awarded a heritage listing. Under heritage law, a state government requires special approval to undertake any construction.
We see time and time again both the council and the state government approving developments that impact heritage buildings.
Equal confusion and uncertainty for business owners in the area too. Many telling 9 News off camera today that nobody in government has contacted them about any changes. Peter Fegan, 9 News.
Looking dazed after a 2-day escapade, a Big Bird costume stolen from a circus in Adelaide has been returned, dumped on a power box next to the venue. Attached to its beak was an apology note from the thieves, saying they just wanted to cheer themselves up and didn't mean to be a big burden. 2 male suspects were seen fleeing the area. If caught, police say they may face theft charges.
A black teenager has been shot dead by police in Ohio just moments before the conviction of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin. Body cam footage shows 15-year-old Makia Bryant in a scuffle with other females. Armed with a knife, she pushes one person to the ground and then attempts to stab another when an officer opens fire. Protesters have gathered at the site and at the local police station chanting, "Say her name."
Reducing pain and the need for knee replacements. Tonight, the breakthrough stem cell therapy healing arthritis. How does it work and when will it be available? That exclusive health report is just moments away. Deadly wait times. A Loganley man claims his wife needlessly died because 3 ambulances got lost. That exclusive 9 News investigation is next.
Lost your keys? There's an app for that. Next, Apple tempts us with new features.
We take you on a trip back through the archives to where Qantas first took flight.
And we're getting healthy with Harold, the family favourite's new school campaign.
A brazen act. Who stole this beloved family moggy?
Very disturbing.
Its heartbroken owners say this bloke's a catnapper. And it was all caught on camera. Now the search to find the feline and this man.
It's incredibly confronting to see a cat taken.
A current affair next.
Ever since I've retired from basketball, I've never been busier. You say bet? Mm-hmm. There's a lot you can do in a few seconds, even with just one hand. I never miss having a bet on Friday Night Footy. Sunday football, 10 legs, same game multi. Glory, glory to Sunday. Beautiful. Oh yeah, that's the one. Good night, ladies.
It's Shaq and Yeezy to bet anytime, anywhere with the PointsBet app.
changes, your insurance should too.
We'll be here for it.
UE, you insured.
Here at Amart Furniture, it's the final week of our Furniture Frenzy sale with $100 million of furniture in stock and ready for delivery. So, you'd better get a wiggle on. Amart Furniture, final week.
Everybody loves my baby, but my baby don't love nobody.
I know that I made up words to songs and they weren't the right words.
Discover the secret to celebrating sound in your life. Hearing Australia.
Flavour you can munch. Flavour you can crunch. Flavour just for me. Flavour you can see. Shapes.
New shapes, mini bites. Light crunch, big flavour.
Voltaren Osteogel 12 hourly for a joint pain. She'll start exercising again.
With just 2 applications a day, Voltaren Osteogel 12 hourly gives you joint pain relief for the whole day and all night.
Actually, exercise is not so bad.
Voltaren, the joy of movement.
When life gives you messiness, Godfrey's gives you cleanliness. Introducing the Tinko Floor One S3, an intelligent hard floor cleaner that detects, vacuums and washes in one smart step. Discover our exclusive Tinko range in store or online. Godfrey's Cleanliness.
There's a lot you can do in just a couple of seconds, even with just one hand. Just load it up on the bunnies tonight. And she's gonna purr like a kitten. Glory, glory to South Sydney.
PointsBet, it's shacking easy.
It's the music event that brings the entire nation together.
He's a working class man.
The biggest names in Aussie music.
Oh, you know it all on me now.
Join forces this Anzac Day Eve to celebrate the unbreakable Aussie spirit. Music from the home front on 9. Music from the home front, Saturday on 9 and 9 now.
A grieving family is tonight demanding answers after the death of their wife, mum and grandmother, Diane Kudair.
Her husband called for help on 3 separate occasions, but the ambulances kept being sent to the wrong address.
I don't know what to do without her. There's too many empty chairs. I don't know how to deal with it, to be honest with you. I cry myself to sleep every night.
Stephen Kudair is battling to come to terms with not only the loss of Diane, his wife of 46 years, but also the way she died. The grandmother of 7's life slipping away as she waited for an ambulance.
If they had got held up because of a traffic jam on the gateway or whatever, I could understand that. I can accept that. But to not get here on time because there's a glitch in their system?
Diane Kudair had been suffering serious health issues, so she and her husband Stephen moved here to Logan, where they could be just 5 minutes away from hospital. But Stephen says that's when they encountered problems getting an ambulance. Diane Kudair was experiencing renal failure and being prepped for dialysis. A consequence was she could suffer from rapid fluid buildup around her heart. Stephen says the condition could be dealt with if seen too quickly.
She had had those episodes before. The ambos were here on time.
On the 15th of December, Diane had difficulty breathing and Stephen called 000 from his house in Edward Street, Loganlea, but the ambulance was instead sent to Elizabeth Court.
When they did eventually get her to hospital, she was very, very near death.
After time in hospital, Diane was discharged, but on January 2nd, she again needed an ambulance. Stephen says it got lost as well.
I accompanied her in the ambulance in the front seat, and I saw on their monitor the address they had been sent to. It wasn't this address.
After the first 2 times, did you complain? Did you tell them?
I did.
Then on February 21, Diane again went downhill. Stephen said he called 000 asking for an ambulance.
That ambulance never got here because it sent them to the wrong address. So she ended up passing away in my arms right there. And I can't get that vision out of my head.
Explaining the delays in a statement, Queensland Ambulance says there was no technical issues with the QAS IT system. Rather, the problem was a result of council mapping, and that the ambulances were directed to Elizabeth Court, which was formerly Edward Court, a similar name to Stephen and Diane's address in Edward Street. Maps are provided by the relevant local council to all emergency services on a quarterly basis. The next quarterly update is due to be provided by council in the next fortnight. An ambulance arrived within 30 minutes of the original call in all 3 instances. Stephen has spoken to a QAS investigator, but is angry he hasn't been able to see the report into his wife's treatment.
He deserves honest answers, and he deserves an honest commitment that something's going to be done about it. Otherwise, we're going to have more families suffer the sort of heartbreak that he has.
I've heard nothing from anyone.
And Tim, you have had a response from Logan Council about their mapping.
Melissa, they are not happy about being blamed for these mapping issues and have released a one-line statement saying Logan City Council has never changed the name of Edward Street, Logan Lee. That, of course, is Diane and Stephen's street. And when you put their address, as we did, into Google Maps, it takes you straight there. Queensland Ambulance, though, uses different maps and is standing by its statement. But ultimately, none of this is getting Stephen the answers he wants and deserves. And Melissa, Stephen and his family say they do not want compensation. They want the problem fixed so no other family goes through what they have.
We all do, don't we? Thanks, Tim.
Well, joining forces to pound the pavement for charity, teenager Will Naisler and former Queensland Police Officer Tim Colloy set off from Brisbane this morning on their way to Sydney. The pair will walk 1,200 kilometres over the next 7 weeks, raising funds for the Salvation Army.
He's the giraffe we all know and love. Now, Healthy Harold is taking on a new venture, part of a campaign to help stamp out bullying. The Healthy Harold 100 calls on Queenslanders to walk, run or ride 100 kilometres in 20 days. All funds raised will go towards Life Education's bullying prevention programs in schools.
Looking back through the aviation archives, tonight Qantas returns to where it all began 100 years ago as the Aussie airline encourages Queenslanders to head west.
The primary school students who have a direct line to space.
Tonight the breakthrough stem cell therapy reducing chronic pain and helping with arthritis.
And without Prince Philip, but not alone, how the Royals will celebrate the Queen's 95th birthday.
Even if you haven't seen their stories so far,
I don't think I can forgive you.
the incredible season final will blow your mind. The truth
I made a dreadful mistake.
they've kept in the dark
I'm pregnant.
will decide how it all ends.
We've got something really wonderful here. I don't want it to end.
Amazing Grace, tonight on 9.
Introducing free MasterChef cookware from Coles.
They look impressive. Let's put them to the test.
For every $20 you spend in one transaction, scan your Flybuys card to earn one MasterChef cookware credit.
Non-stick, how good is that?
Super durable.
Perfect for a sauce as well.
Plus, get a bonus cookware credit when you purchase selected products from these participating brands. Collect all 7 MasterChef cookware pieces.
That's the way to cook like a MasterChef.
Free MasterChef cookware from Coles. Value the Australian way.
This Mother's Day at Terry White Chemmart, spend $59 or more on cosmetics and fragrance to get a free gift valued at over $140, including products from Revlon, Maybelline, Natio and more. Plus earn double Qantas points. Shop in-store at Terry White Chemmart.
Great car wash, boys. Oh, but last time...
It's for the club.
Yeah, but fellas, it's like when I get my Toyota service, it's just one low price, doesn't change for 5 years.
Inflation.
I'm still feeling it.
Nothing spoils that Toyota value feeling, and you can book your capped price service through the My Toyota app. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Now is the time to create your forever home at Winning Appliances. Upgrade your kitchen with the Siemens range of kitchen appliances. Right now, get up to $200 cash back on selected ovens, as well as $200 cash back on selected cooktops, range hoods and fridges. Terms and conditions apply. Hurry, ends May 2nd. Visit us at a Winning Appliances showroom or online today.
Take the confusion out of buying a bed with BedMatch at 40 Winks. Our exclusive system calculates your support needs so we can find the best mattress from our range of leading brands. BedMatch, only at 40 Winks. Serious about sleep.
At McCafe, every sixth coffee is free when you order on the My Macca's app. Buy any 5 coffees and your next one is on us. Download the My Macca's app and start earning your free coffees today.
Tomorrow we have the absolute latest on the vaccination rollout for you. Plus, we reveal the suburbs in your city where it's cheaper to buy than rent.
And putting plant-based burgers to the test.
No.
They're healthier, but would you really eat one?
I don't know.
That's tomorrow.
There isn't a business or a place that hasn't been impacted by COVID, including Qantas, the airline unable to celebrate its 100-year anniversary last year. But tonight, the Flying Kangaroo has returned to Longreach, saying thank you to the region where it all started.
Longreach is steeped in aviation history, the place where Qantas, Australia's first airline, started in 1920. 101 years later, the Flying Kangaroo's entire board is back to celebrate what COVID cancelled its centenary.
This is where they had one aircraft. This is when they set up this amazing airline. And look how big it's become.
Unveiling a replica first-class lounge from 1971 at the Qantas Founders Museum, complete with swivel chairs and a cocktail bar. It was the first of its kind in Australia, aboard the airline's first 747.
Make sure all your bags are in the overhead locker.
People could enjoy themselves and relax on it. And it was that exclusivity that was associated with it.
The latest addition to the museum, it's another attraction Qantas and Longreach locals hope will attract more tourists.
Which means, we can employ up to 40 staff. That's over $1 million in wages back into our community.
In another nod to Qantas's roots, the airline teamed up with Indigenous elders to source native lemongrass for a new centenary gin.
I think there's a good opportunity for not only just the local Indigenous people, but I think landholders at large in the region.
If you're wondering what native lemongrass tastes like in a gin, QF100 will feature in a celebratory cocktail called the Longreach Fizz, served up at Qantas lounges at Brisbane, Melbourne and Sydney International. The airline hopeful COVID won't burst the latest travel bubble.
We still think October is the best planning date that we can use.
In Longreach, Shannon Marshall-McCormack, 9 News.
Yeah, Shannon's there in Longreach for us tonight. Shannon, this would be a good boost for the local economy, wouldn't it?
Oh, that's exactly right, Andrew. COVID smashed Longreach and particularly its tourism industry, just like many other parts of Australia. And particularly here at the museum, they were closed for 3 months. All 37 staff were let go. They've since obviously reopened and brought back about 2/3 of those staff. They have another 8 jobs that they're currently trying to fill right now. And they're hoping those new installations, both the lounge and also a recently installed luminescent Longreach, a laser light show that projects the story of Qantas onto some historical aircraft behind me and right around me, will help bring people back out to Longreach, back out to Western Queensland, or Central Queensland I should say, and to see this museum in all its glory. Melissa, the show is about to get started. I might go grabbing one of those G&Ts.
Indeed, we wish them all the best. Thanks, Shannon. A group of aspiring astronauts were over the moon when they made direct contact with the crew on board the International Space Station. Dialing in from a packed school hall in the Blue Mountains, 8 students lined up with questions at the ready. And when asking for advice on becoming an astronaut...
Be resilient. Don't stop in the face of challenges. And number 2, be a lifelong learner, learning inside and outside of the classroom. And the last thing, number 3, is to be a good teammate.
The kids had 11 minutes with the NASA crew before the space station dipped below the horizon and the signal was lost.
Queen Elizabeth has officially turned 95, but today's milestone is likely to be a sombre affair in the wake of husband Prince Philip's death. Gun salutes at the Tower of London or Hyde Park are unlikely, as is a new official photo. The royal family's official mourning period will end on Friday. A poaching raid at Red Hill, plus only 9 News joins the Broncos on their top-end tour. All Matt Lodge wanted was a photo. He got a whole lot more.
A Queensland rugby star shares his deeply personal story, how family tragedy has inspired Hamish Stewart. And at the end of sport, is this the future? Kmart's new staff member joining the team across Queensland.
It was a warm one across the southeast today. We've still got 25 degrees, but it will cool down overnight. Westerly winds and clear skies. It'll be a chilly start to your Thursday. All the details in your forecast.
I'm not taking any chances.
Nothing's gonna stop our travel guides going global.
Ready?
Gonna be the queen of Mykonos. Well, I'm gonna need a new
The brand new season.
Things started getting weird.
Is the most outrageous ever. Watch out, world. The travel guides are coming.
Remind you of anything, Kat? I know we're in Turkey, but you don't say gobble gobble here.
New travel guides starts next Wednesday, 7:30.
Is that your dog?
It's the neighbour's dog. Will my insurance cover this?
Budget Direct would have provided you with temporary accommodation for up to a year while they repaired it.
Budget Direct. Insurance solved.
Chew extra white and shine bright.
Today we'll be offering... They're gone. What do you mean they're gone? The snacks. They're gone. Missing. Well, they have to be here somewhere. They're not here. They can't just get up and walk away.
All right, only 13 more hours to go.
New M&Ms, now with crunchy caramel inside.
Shut up and take my money.
Nothing like a party in the summertime. Nothing like seeing you, baby, looking so fine. Ooh, nothing like a party.
It's time, Australia, to wake up to sleep. It's scientifically proven to give us more energy, clearer judgment, and better memory. 40 Winks, serious about sleep.
Experience a wander out yonder in WA. Soak up an iconic western sunset with a Broome beach break. Stay 3 nights from just $319 and save up to $100. WA is on sale now.
At Coles, there's hundreds of prices down and counting, so you can lower the cost of your weekly shop. The price of breakfast is down, with Coles Toasted Original Style Muesli down to $3.10. Coles, value the Australian way.
Welcome to your life. Help me make the most of freedom and of pleasure. Everybody wants to rule the world. Everybody wants to rule the world.
Great news, you're all approved. Other kids are going to love it.
Make your house more home with our lowest ever advertised fixed rate home loan. That's the Suncorp spirit.
Can the perfect Panthers make it 7 straight wins? Or will the Knights put them to the sword? Thursday on 9.
This Sports Report brought to you by Sportsbet's Elite Average Games. Download the app today and make it look easy with Sportsbet.
A new turn tonight in the NRL's mid-season merry-go-round. Ben Dobbin is live at Red Hill. And Dobbo, you have exclusive news on the future of 2 Broncos.
Yeah, good evening, Wally. I certainly do. Some good news for Brisbane. Katoni Staggs has rejected an offer from the Gold Coast Titans and told them he will not be signing there moving forward. This is the first real sign that Katoni Staggs might potentially stay here at Red Hill. There are two other clubs chasing his services moving forward, both of them Sydney clubs, but my understanding is, talking to club officials today, that they expect Katoni Staggs to sign within the next 2 weeks a long-term deal. Lots to like also about what is going on. Matt Lodge has also received an offer from a rival club. The club are weighing up whether or not to let Matt Lodge go, but while all this is going on, there is a big grudge match taking place with the Eels in the top end of Australia.
Tapping into the top-end talent pool, the Broncos are on the recruitment drive in Darwin. Matt Lodge rounding up support from kids at Palmerston Raiders, something that wasn't so forthcoming on arrival at the airport. Oh.
Probably rather wrestle the parent players on that thing, so yeah, it's different.
The Eels are wrestling with some off-field drama. An unnamed player at the centre of a sex tape scandal reportedly filmed without their knowledge.
I don't think it's any distraction at all. I think the club will work and whatever they think's right to whatever happens, it happens. So we're here to play footy and that's our full focus this weekend.
Parramatta halfback Mitchell Moses has been added to the list of players the Broncos are looking to recruit, making Friday's game somewhat of an audition.
He's going to come out to prove a lot this weekend against us, and he always has.
Brisbane's interest in Moses and Adam Reynolds could be pushing Tom Dearden north to the Cowboys, where Chad Townsend is already being welcomed with open arms after agreeing to a 3-year deal in Townsville.
Yeah, good signing, mate. Obviously, the unfortunate news of Morgo this year, so it'd be good to have Chatty up here, and he's played in some big games, grand finals.
Michael Atkinson, 9 News.
And here are my tips for round 7. In the Titans-Rabbitohs game, I'm expecting the Rabbitohs to reign supreme, while in the Eels-Broncos match, the Eels should slip to another win, while the Raiders should just get home against the Cowboys. My other winners this week are the Panthers, Sharks, Tigers, Roosters and Melbourne Storm. Good luck. Could Liam Wright or James O'Connor captain the Wallabies? The media went fishing for an answer today with Reds coach Brad Thorne.
Throwing the lure out there for you.
And that was the only bite we got. Thorne more forthcoming on promotion prospects for league convert Jordan Kahu after his strong debut in club rugby.
If he's doing well down at Bond, that'll be of interest to us.
A vacancy will be Kahu's problem, and tonight we learn more about the man who's considered the glue of the Reds' backline. This is the deeply personal story of centre Hamish Stewart.
On the rolling hills of Umbyron, 2 hours west of Brisbane, Hamish Stewart is home with family, loyal Labrador bull and their stud of thoroughbreds. This is where Hamish grew up, the rich pastures that nurture young racehorses and also those who care for them.
It's sort of a sanctuary here, get away from Brisbane, get away from the limelight, and you can really come out here and reflect and relax and take a step back and just enjoy life for what it is.
Oakland Stud is where the Red Centre escapes whenever he can, not for a holiday, but to work on a property where bloodlines run deep.
We all love each other, and we're happy to say that we love each other, and it brings us closer, and I think that's one of the biggest successes of a family.
Neville Stewart founded this business in 1979. His 2 surviving sons will inherit it. Hamish and Alistair lost their eldest brother Alex in a quad bike accident here in 2009. Much of their hard work and success is inspired by him.
For Alistair and Hamish, it's made them even more aware how precious life is.
When Alex left us, it left a big hole, but I think between Hamish and I and Nev, we want to keep this business going for him.
He's never really left us, even though it's been 11 years. It's definitely a special place.
The racing industry is where Hamish will end up, but right now footy remains the focus. The Reds will host the Super Rugby AU Grand Final, and Stewart's role in Queensland's unbeaten run hasn't gone unnoticed. He's worked his way into a backline littered with Wallaby stars, still hoping to one day join them in gold.
When the time's right, I guess I'll fit into there, but I'll just keep pecking away. I've got a lot of things to work on my game and to improve as a player.
Breeding winners really is a tradition at Oakland Stud. Jonathan Upton, 9 News.
One of Australian motorsport's biggest names will come out of retirement to race a supercar at the Bathurst 1000. The series champion of 2005, Russell Ingall, will drive alongside 18-year-old Queensland rookie Brock Feeney in what will be the oldest-youngest combination in Bathurst history. And we haven't seen this in more than 18 months, but tonight, an AFL tradition lost through COVID is being lovingly restored. The Lions building a banner for players to run through when Brisbane meet Carlton at Marvel Stadium. Banners are allowed this weekend for the first time since the 2019 Grand Final. Brisbane's design gives a nod to Eric Hipwood's milestone match and will also acknowledge the Anzacs. And I'm sure there's going to be plenty of those on show indeed.
That's great to see.
Yeah.
Thanks, Walt. It's called Tory and it's coming to a Kmart near you. The retailer has revealed plans to deploy a robot in every Australian store within the year to help with stock taking. It's able to roam the floor, triangulating where stock is and how much is left. Robots are a regular sight in US stores, cleaning up spills and checking for hazards.
Is this the holy grail for knee pain? Next, a new breakthrough stem cell therapy, healing arthritis and putting an end to daily suffering. What it could mean for you. Don't miss that exclusive health report in just 3 minutes. But first, Gary's back with a check of the weather. Gaz, it was a warm one today.
Look, it certainly was. There were a few suburbs that made it into the 30s. Even the coast and bayside recorded some of the warmest temperatures today. It was all due to the northwesterly winds. We'll take a look at those temps and your forecast up next.
A brazen act. Who stole this beloved family moggy?
Very disturbing.
Its heartbroken owners say this bloke's a catnapper, and it was all caught on camera. Now the search to find the feline and this man.
It's incredibly confronting to see a cat taken.
A current affair next.
We Australians are a resilient bunch. But as cyclones, floods and fires become more extreme, we need homes as resilient as us. That's why Suncorp, with leading experts, have designed one house to save many. See how it could help save yours. Building a more resilient Australia. That's the Suncorp spirit.
At Coles, there's hundreds of prices down and counting, so you can lower the cost of your weekly shop. The price of breakfast is down, with Coles orange juice 2 litres down to $5. Coles, value the Australian way.
Macca's new Chicken McPieces. Tender 100% Aussie chicken breast in an irresistible coating. Plus Aussie favourite chicken salt shaker fries are finally here. Now that's too good to keep to yourself.
It's just a tickle. I'll try a lolly. It might go away.
Uh-oh. Looks like the first signs of a sore throat. Lollies may dampen a tickle, but Strepsils Extra fights bacteria and soothes the throat. Take Strepsils Extra to fight the first signs of a sore throat.
Look, there's a Davies near Jet Gladiator. Oh, look, the roof comes off. I'm in. Namaste.
We're thinking of checking out that laneway with the crazy painting.
Hosier?
That's the one.
Are there any others worth seeing?
So that's a yes.
No matter how they sleep, they'll be comfortable in Huggies newborn nappies with a unique dry touch layer that quickly absorbs and traps runny bowel movements to provide our best care for your newborn's delicate skin.
At Terry White Chemmart, we're here to help this winter. That's why pharmacists like Bridget are trained to administer flu vaccinations right here in store. Book now. Walk-ins also available. Terry White Chemmart. Now that's real chemistry.
Pay less every day at The Good Guys. Get this Hitachi TV for only $5.95. $80 off this Bosch dishwasher. This Dyson vacuum only $5.99. And $50 off this JBL soundbar. Pay less every day only at The Good Guys.
We Australians are a resilient bunch. But as cyclones, floods and fires become more extreme, we need homes as resilient as us. That's why Suncorp, with leading experts, have designed one house to save many. See how it could help save yours. Building a more resilient Australia. That's the Suncorp spirit.
Checking finance, and the share market closed lower, down 23 points. Our dollar is buying 77 US cents. Fuel prices, the average for unleaded in Brisbane $1.33 and diesel $1.34. A bit cheaper on the coast, the average there $1.30. Tech giant Apple has targeted the more forgetful among us in its latest product launch, introducing AirTags to help track personal belongings on your smartphone. From keys to backpacks, even luggage, the Bluetooth device pinpoints the lost object and guides you to them. New iMac computers and a purple iPhone, also part of the launch. They'll be available at the end of the month.
Suffering from chronic knee pain? Tonight, a new treatment is being trialled right here on Australian soil that could put an end to it all.
This is part of Tom Buttle's monthly routine, a tailored exercise program to manage the pain in his right knee.
There's been ongoing pain, so the pain fluctuates daily, weekly.
The problem began when the 61-year-old suffered a rugby injury in his teens.
I was playing 5'8" and I was tackled sideways and my knee just gave way sideways.
Osteoarthritis is an underlying destruction of the joint tissues.
Exercise and losing weight can help relieve symptoms. Stem cells, on the other hand, isn't recommended because there's not enough good evidence.
There's a lot of talk, there's a lot of enthusiasm from the community, but there's no good rigorous evidence to suggest that they are effective in this context.
But this new therapy could change that. The trial, involving 440 patients, is one of the largest that will compare stem cell injections to a control group using saline. It's hoped the active ingredient can reduce inflammation within the joint.
The primary outcomes for this trial are pain, which is the predominant symptom people complain of, and structure.
Most trials to date have used the patient's own stem cells extracted from their fat tissue. This therapy is a consistent off-the-shelf product. It harvests stem cells derived from the blood of a healthy young donor. They're then expanded and manufactured. If there's any benefit, investigators will also measure how long the treatment will last, which is why the trial will run for 2 years.
It's quite an expensive procedure, so I think the science needs to be behind it. It either works or it doesn't.
Details on the Sculptor study are on the University of Sydney website. Gabriella Rogers, 9 News.
Gary has all the weather details right now. Gary, another warm one tomorrow?
Not quite, Lofty. Today, definitely the warmest day of the week. The reason why, there'll be a southwesterly wind change tomorrow, some drier, cooler air that is moving up from our southern neighbours. It'll make its way into southern Queensland. Temperatures, daytime highs back to low and even mid-20s and staying that way the next couple of days. We'll get to that in your forecast. I want to take a look now at temperatures across southeast Queensland, where it was a very warm day for April. A beautiful evening here in the city and still 25 degrees. But let's have a look at those temps now, and you'll see highs of 29 degrees recorded at Coolangatta and the Gold Coast, 30 for Logan, Caboolture, Ipswich and here in the city, 31 the top today, and that was at Redcliffe and the Sunshine Coast. For the capitals, cloudy with showers in Melbourne, Adelaide and Hobart, early frost in Canberra, fine, sunny and mild for Sydney, Darwin fine and 33 degrees. Queensland, you're looking at some heavy falls in the far north again. Cairns picked up another 150 millimetres up until 9, while the lower Burdekin 245 millimetres at Ingham. There'll be scattered showers tomorrow still for Townsville, a few showers even for Mackay, with possible showers in the Capricornia. Some cloud about in the Wide Bay tomorrow. It'll be mostly sunny inland. We're looking at low 30s in Mount Isa and Longreach. A cool morning in Roma, eventually reaching 24 degrees. Here in the southeast, a partly cloudy day. Light winds becoming westerly to 25 kilometres per hour. Overnight temperatures falling to between 10 and 15. Daytime temperatures reaching low to mid mid-20s. Moreton Bay, west to southwest, 10 to 15 knots. The seas reaching 1 to 1.5 metres offshore. Brisbane, partly cloudy day, freshening easterlies, a low of 14 and a top of 24 degrees. While your 7-day outlook, a cool morning Friday, followed by a sunny day, mostly sunny Saturday and 26. Ipswich, you're looking at the next few days, looking to deliver some cool mornings, but sunny days will follow. The Gold Coast, well, we could see a shower or two develop Sunday and Monday, but mostly sunny until then. Same on the Sunshine Coast. The morning's a little bit cooler and the days for the next few days. But we are in for some nice weather, guys.
It does sound good. Thank you, Gary. Before we go, though, here's a look at a story you won't want to miss tomorrow night.
Clean up or pay the price.
Over 3,000 complaints.
The new crackdown on Brisbane junk yards. Where you walk, where you park, even the height of your grass. And if you don't sort it out, authorities will.
They'll then bill the owner for all costs involved.
How to make your messy neighbours tidy up. 9 News tomorrow.
And that's 9 News Queensland for this evening. We're always keen to hear from you too. Don't forget our Facebook page for 9 News. Any story ideas or other questions and queries you have, we'd love to hear from you. Tracy is next. Don't go away. A current affair coming up as well.
We'll have updates for you, of course, throughout the evening, but we will see you again tomorrow night at 6. But until then, enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night.
Good night.